Hello, this is a video to help whoever's managing their remediation spreadsheet to know what to do to manage it throughout the school year and at the beginning of the school year. So let's just dive right in. This is the main screen where teachers can monitor and add students to the remediation spreadsheet. But for whoever's managing it, you're going to have to do some work with the coding behind the scenes, kind of. So this is what all the teachers will be able to see regularly throughout the day. But as the person managing it, if you click this arrow, you'll see a lot more columns that help out with the functionality of the spreadsheet and help it to do all the bells and whistles. If you scroll all the way to the right side, this is the main things that have to be adjusted at the beginning of the school year. So every school year, the name of every student in the school and their email address have to be added to these two columns, the X and the Y column. So those will need to be added every year. The Z column is empty, so there's nothing that goes there. The AA column is the name of all the teachers that are in the faculty. So that's something that needs to be changed every year as the faculty might change, along with their emails in the column AB. And then the last column is column AC. This is where all of the courses that the school offers need to be listed. So all of those courses need to be listed right there. I also add on silent lunch. So if admin want to assign a student to silent lunch, they're able to do that also. And throughout the school year, if new students come and add into the school or faculty switches, this is where you'd go to switch those or just add students to the bottom of the list of students down here. So anytime a new student comes, if a teacher lets you know that they can't find them, and this is where you'd go to add them. You just add them here to the bottom of the list. So once all of those columns are completed, the only other thing that you need to change at the beginning of the school year is the administrator emails. So our administrators do kind of rotate, especially 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. And so as the administrators change, the emails, the email addresses that are sent for each grade level need to be changed. So if 9th grade admin changes, then the new 9th grade administrator's email needs to go here. The 10th grade administrator's email needs to go here inside the quotes. 11th grade administrator's email should go here. And then 12th grade administrator's email should go here. So as the administrators change, if their emails are different, then those need to be changed. All right. Other than that, there's nothing really that needs to be adjusted at the beginning of the year for the sheet to function. Once all those things are adjusted, this should be able to be hidden and really only needs to be adjusted if a faculty member or a student is added or changes throughout the school year. They just need to be fixed in those lists. So at this point, all the students should be in the student name drop-down list. All the faculty will be in the teacher drop-down list. And the classes should be in the class drop-down list. All right, so throughout the year as this is being managed, sometimes one thing that you might have to do right here is, let's say this line has a student, no name. Maybe Mr. Shipley assigned this person and deleted the name but didn't delete everything else. So you might have to go through and clean that up for them and just highlight everything and hit delete. And then if that student was, or that row was in the middle, you might have to resort everything. So what I always try to do is first sort by teacher and then sort by date. So I try to keep it sorted by date. That way the oldest dates are at the top and the most recent dates are at the furthest dates out are at the bottom. That way you can see the most recent thing. And then throughout the week, typically go through and filter out days that have already passed. So for example, if today was the 14th, then I would filter out the 13th and hit OK. So now it only shows the days of May the 14th of kids that have been assigned on the 14th. Now the 13th are still in there. If you notice, the row goes from 1 to 24. So those rows are still in there. They've just been filtered out now so that they can't be seen. So it just helps teachers as they're viewing the spreadsheet to not have to scroll through all of the dates, especially when there gets to be 100 or 200 entries. So I always try to filter those out every day so that it's not so much to have to scroll through. Okay. Another thing that you may need to adjust or want to adjust is the times when the emails are sent, because every day the spreadsheet sends an email to the student that is listed to remind them that they have remediation, and those emails are sent in the morning at 9:55. And then later in the day, each teacher that assigned a student, if they don't have the student marked as present or a no-show, then they're sent an email to remind them to check the roll if the student came to remediation or not. I believe that's at 11:55. And then at 12:30 every day, the spreadsheet will send an email to the administrator for that student if no-show is checked. So if those times need to be adjusted for whatever reason, the schedule's different, and we want to send those emails somewhere different or at a different time, you can click Extensions, Apps Script, and then you'll want to come over here where it says Triggers. Okay, so these triggers are the times that it sends, excuse me, these emails. So here's the one that sends the one to the students to remind them. This one sends the one to the teacher to remind them to check the roll, and this one sends the one to the administrator to let them know a student did not come to remediation. So if the times need to be changed, you can first just go, let's say we wanted to change the time that the students are reminded, you can click this and hit Delete Trigger. And then after you delete the trigger, you need to create a new trigger with a different time. So you'd go over here to Editor and pick Student Email, and then change the hour and the minutes right here that you want that trigger to be to go off. And if you notice, it says 0 to 23 minutes. So if you want to do it in the afternoon at 2 o'clock, you would need this number to be 14. So it's in military time. But once you change those numbers, okay, if I change this to 12, now you'll see this is clickable. So you have to save the project. Okay, see if it's 9, I can't save it because it's already the same as what it was. But if you change it, you'll need to save the project and run it, and that'll create that new trigger that you can use for a new time. So you can change any of those three if you want to. So that's what you do under Extensions and App Script. Okay, now the only other thing that you need to be aware of is at the end of each week, I do update the sheet and clear it out so that it can be empty for the next week. So to do that, we want to record the data for this week. So we're going to add in a new sheet. And you'll notice at the bottom there's sheets I have for every week. So then we would change this to the dates for this current week. So we'd say 5/12/25 to 5/16/25. All right, then go back to the remediation spreadsheet, and we're going to highlight everything that was in there for this week. Now, one thing to be aware of is that some teachers will add students for the coming week. So like if a student was in here for May 21st, well, that's an entire week later. So we don't want to copy them into this week. So make sure you only highlight students that were assigned in that range of May 12th to May 16th. So then we would come down and highlight all of these columns all the way up to the title. And we would just hit Control C, or you can double click, right click and hit copy, and then come into that and paste. All right, and you can, sometimes I'll make the columns wider so they can be more easily viewed to see who's where. But that's all you have to do to record it. So then you go back to this screen, and once you've got them copied, you just highlight all of the rows. Exclude this time. Do not highlight the titles, okay? Because the headers, because we're going to delete everything else. We don't want to delete the headers. So you're going to click and highlight everything, and then you're going to hit delete. All right, and then once you delete, notice the check mark boxes got deleted also. Again, you only want to delete students that were in that range 12 to 15. So if there were other students that were assigned already for the next week, and they were assigned for May 19th or May 18th or 17th, whatever, you don't want to highlight those. Just highlight the ones that were for that current week and delete those. Leave any of the other ones down here for the next week. And then you'll need to just copy and highlight the check boxes and click and drag those up and fill those back in. And then it should be ready to go for the next week. Okay, so that's how you manage the spreadsheet. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your next closest administrator and they can help you out. Thanks.